Now, I would like to invite Mr. Ratanjay Batliboy. A stalwart with 40 years of experience, Mr. Ratanjay Batliboy is a founder of RJBCPL and Ed and Educated Environments. He has worked on a myriad of projects from commercial, residential, and academic to cultural and institutional. Among these numerous projects are metros and railway stations in Mumbai, Navi Mumbai, and Delhi. Apart from that, he has also worked on the Sidco Exhibition Center and the Marine Drive Precinct. Today, Mr. Batliboy will speak on reimagining Indian rail transportation systems. So let's welcome Mr. Ratan Batliboy.
So I think we've just used this topic of reimagining the Indian rail transportation system. I think it's more important as architects that we look at an overview, and that's pretty much what I'm going to do through this sort of exposition. We've been working on railway stations since the late 80s, actually early 80s. We started building in 88, and we have about 75 odd railway projects, which are suburban terminals, metro rail, monorail. I'm going to go through a few of them. In the good old days, in the late 80s, we talked about using the airspace above railway stations to use them as commercial and offices. We talked about several projects that we did there. Very interesting structural systems that we used with Shirish Patel and Associates, our structural engineers, to see how we could economize on structure, make things much more affordable and accessible. Lots of alterations and changes to the existing stations that we had to incorporate newer technologies, to look at extensions, to look at the way passengers would react to the new amenities and things. So there's a few of these photographs and views. We also looked at cladding of the railway station buildings in and around the Bombay Metro. Delhi Metro, we've done a few stations. In principle, we did the Dwarka line and we did the Noida line. So I'm just going to show you a couple of views of that. Very simple, seamless, jointless, very easy to maintain structures. We did about 14 odd railway stations, and they've used this design, so to speak, going forward in many more that we've actually not been the authors of. Railway station integration with commercial spaces is very exciting now, and they're looking at a lot of things. So I'm going to show that to you as we go along. New concepts of rail over rail and very large terminal buildings in the metros, new skins, new design for railway stations, trying to bring in photovoltaics into the ceilings, ceiling skins and things like that, so that we can become independent and positive energy oriented. We've also worked on the Bombay monorail space in terms of trying to develop the overall railway stations as the clients wanted them. I'm going to introduce a few concepts here. The concept number one for a Bombay environment is about generating space. And we looked at existing suburban railway corridors, which is looking at below, beyond, between, along, within, and above. So we're calling it the three Bava situation. The first is below railway stations, where this is the typical scenario. And effectively, if we can dig under and float the railway stations above or the railway tracks above, we get a huge amount of space below. The second is beyond. So in normal situations, sometimes there's a road that goes alongside the railway station. If we can extend it and create a large car park or a large facility next door to it, that's the way we're looking at it. If we look at between stations, if these are two purple stations, we look at a third station that comes in between. And this is just creating more space on the railway lines, which is technically free space that one can develop on. Alongside is very simple. We've done this in a lot of our station projects. Within stations, it's of course refreshing, refurbishing, renewing, things like this for public access, better amenities, better FOBs, more public concourse, basically giving the Indian commuter a little more space to use the facility more effectively. And then we talked about above the railway station. Typically, you have the footover bridge that goes over. And if we can extend that into a large car parking space, or we can go into a mall sort of environment, or we can do a car parking as well as a mall environment, and multi-layered, as we can see. So in principle, these are the sort of concepts that we looked at. I'm looking at a new project situation, a new concept that we created in the early 90s, which was creating value, not just adding value. And Kharghar railway station was an example of this. Kharghar railway station had about 65 meters by about 210 meters. And instead of doing car parks on the ground, we took all the cars on top. We created parking on top. So in principle, we created a parking space of approximately 700 odd cars. Our concept was to do 700 into 3 tiers, so you could create almost a kiss and ride scenario, or a drop and ride scenario, park and ride scenario for about 2,000 odd cars. But we weren't allowed to do that by the government at that time, because they said there are not even 700 cars in this area at the time. But having said this, this is the broad scenario. If we had to park these cars, we would have needed this much space on the ground next door to it. Having said this, we did not need this. We were actually able to commercially exploit these areas, or harness these areas, exploit and get the money for the capex of the project. And the OPEX of the project is generated by the number of cars that are paying you a car parking fee on a daily basis. Of course, when we wanted to do this into multi-tiered, etc., we weren't allowed to, but this is the situation 25 years since when we actually built this. The big idea that we talk about now is Bombay Central. For you who are familiar with Bombay and Bombay Central Station, Mumbai Central Station, it's really a land parcel in purple that you see on screen, which is about 20 acres odd. Next to it is a 12 acres of old buildings, the MSRTC bus station, the bus depot, the BEST depots, which is about 8 acres. We sort of looked at an entire multimodal precinct happening around these areas. And it's truly multimodal because you have the monorail, you have the metro rail, you have the suburban, you have the terminal station, you have the Maharashtra state bus terminals, you have the BEST terminals, you have taxi staging, you have private taxi staging. Everything happens within a sort of 500-meter radius. And having said this, in principle, what we said is that we'll try and bring all these areas on top of our railway station property. And by doing that, we sort of looked at releasing the land on the ground. So all these areas that are here on the ground are released and created into green spaces for the city. And we take all those functions into a multimodal hub. This is really truly a scenario where all transportation facilities, or as many as you can see here, actually come together in one consolidated scenario. And the entire thing retains the heritage of Mumbai Central Station. We have takeoffs on the road. The entire traffic is completely differently managed. And this is sort of a very interesting game changer product that we've been trying to push since the early 2000s. Not to mention that you would be able to do multi-tiering. On the left-hand side is a list of all the modal transportation aspects that you could bring into this space. And in principle, you could do towers, or we had proposed to do these large residential towers. At the podium level of these residential towers, you get an additional 20 acres of green space for the towers and for the city itself. So what you're doing is generating 25 to 30 acres at ground level and an additional 20 acres at an upper level. The towers were being designed to fund the project to the tune of about 3,000 odd crores. So in principle, this is our overview. And these are a couple of slides to show the sort of artist conception about how this could physically happen in a Bombay environment. The most important thing is the new transit-oriented development that's happening. And in principle, we look at the micro planning, we look at a meso planning around the station, and we see how that affects the overall macro in terms of the urban and the natural environments. The connectivity that happens on both sides of the tracks, specifically in Bombay, is very, very critical. And I'm just showing you a couple of very quick examples on that. So one of the examples was the LTT station in Mumbai. So this was the land development. The green space was the additional land that we suggested we would take. And the commercial development we could create is almost 8 acres. That's roughly 32,000 square meters of space. And the area under the railway tracks is about 109,000 square meters. So that's 27 acres plus another 8 acres of land that one could have access to. We develop it effectively in terms of cleaning up the rail buildings, cleaning up the land to be extremely efficient, and creating these large, beautiful public plazas and urban interventions, totally facilitated by traffic management, by large spaces, by reflecting that lifestyle of the people that would actually use the spaces, and commercially oriented by virtue of being able to rent out the spaces that the railways was being able to generate using their land as a free resource. So these are a couple of views of that. And another example is a live, work, and play scenario where we talked about a residential and commercial and a recreational space. And we looked at doing this over railway yards, which is really free space. It can be easily converted into harnessing the commercial potential, which allows the railways to create or generate large amounts of their wealth, actually create the wealth and use it effectively for better services to the commuters that use the property. So in principle, there's the yard that we had. This is the large depot building that we have on the ground. We were talking about building over the entire depot building, and we looked at a mixed use plan. We looked at a very, very large education sort of hub where you don't need too many car parks, where you can have kids coming in, students coming in from all over, using all the multimodal accessibility that they have and using the entire property. The money comes in from broadly a commercial space or a residential space. The commercial space has, of course, there's enough car parking that has been designed for almost 2,000 odd cars. There is commercial space that has the mall. There are offices that happen. And there's residential space that can be sold extremely effectively in a hub like this. This is the yard that we talked about, and this is the depot building. We're talking about spanning right over the entire building and creating a brand new environment. And this is a sort of one proposal where we had car parking at podiums to house cars which would come here and use the ride facility from here. We could look at 2 linear buildings, which is residential and or commercial. And then we kept developing this proposition to create a large 10,000 square meter plaza that happened between the 2 buildings, under which happen commercial spaces, over which you can have a plaza which can be used effectively right through, or you could even do temporary installations and create a large dome space for outdoor environments, exhibitions, etc. So in principle, this is the proposal that we were talking about, and I thought this was a very interesting platform to share how we can look at commercializing space, commercializing the land value, which in Bombay is extremely expensive, and getting an advantage for all the users to come together. So you have a large commercial space, you have the residential blocks in the background, you have the rail system that goes through, accessible to the railway station. The station comes across, people can come across directly into their plaza, go into the commercial spaces, go into the education spaces, and life is good for all stakeholders. And that's pretty much where I'd like to end this little presentation. Thank you.